Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So there's a block party going on outside our house and we're going to go hang out with our neighbors for a little bit. So I thought we could get ready together and talk a little bit about AI, freelancing, how we all might need to be adapting, and also just what's going on in my own business, because my business certainly isn't immune to any of this. So I've told you before on this channel, starting off with sunscreen, I got into freelancing because, well, one of the main reasons was because I kept getting laid off from my 9-to-5 jobs. I counted this weekend, and I thought that I've been saying this whole time that I got laid off 4 times in 5 years. It was actually 5 times in 5 years. So at this point, I feel like I should get a trophy or something. So that's when I started taking freelancing more seriously. Hi, baby. And you know, it's a journey. There were a lot of wins, a lot of setbacks. That's how it is. But since the pandemic, being an agency owner or freelancer, it's so much different than it used to be. And I'm finding that the way I did things before might not work anymore. And that's okay. That's part of the evolution of owning a business, of being human. But I've had to really do some thinking lately about what, first of all, the economy and the job market and all the budget cuts and layoffs, what that means for me, for us, and also AI. As a writer, it directly impacts me, like it does for probably a lot of you. And I know that humans are better than AI for creating content, but especially because so many brands right now are looking to cut corners and they're actively looking to replace humans with something cheaper. It's getting more challenging finding clients who are willing to talk to you about paying you $1,000 a month minimum to write blogs when they could get AI to do it for free. And also, I've talked about this before, one of the biggest mistakes I made in building my business is I built a business that I can't remove myself from. That kind of makes it not sellable. I can't really sell my business. I probably could, but my business would cease to exist without me, is my point. So that makes everything a little bit tricky. And, I've always been honest with you guys. My business has slowed down lately, a little bit because of AI. I've had a few conversations with leads where they've brought that up, but especially with budget cuts and how so many companies are struggling hiring third parties like me at the rates that I charge. It's not the easiest thing in the world right now. So this has put me in a weird place. I'm sure a lot of other people are experiencing this too, where I'm sitting here going, do I keep doing this in the way that I've been doing it? And I talked about it in a recent video. I'll put the link below, how I've been starting to feel restless anyway. And, I'm at this point in my career, I'm at this age where I'm not obsessed with work like I used to be. I still love it. I love working. I love my clients. I love making money. That hasn't changed. But I used to get such a thrill out of being a workhorse and working like crazy, and I don't anymore. Also, I've struggled in the past with understanding what my worth is as a human outside of the work that I produce, which is so bad. But I basically have always felt worthless outside of my career. And I've always felt like that's the purpose that I serve, which is very narrow-minded on my part. And that's something that, I really want to explore more. Like, what else is there to me and to my life? I don't believe that it's all work. Things are changing so much right now that I think it would be very foolish for me to assume that doing what I've always done is going to continue giving me the same results. And that's a really scary thing to acknowledge because, oops, just messed this up. Because what I've always done has worked really, really well. And now I'm talking about changing it up. So I think I heard it on TikTok. A lot of people have been using ChatGPT to come up with whole new business ideas. And someone said that ChatGPT or AI is going to give us more millionaires than we've ever had before. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Because I've talked before on this channel about doing less to earn more and the concept of essentialism. I'll leave those links below. I like working, but I also like living, and I want to live more and have more freedom. So my mindset these days, it was already, even before the layoffs and AI, my mindset was already, how can I make as much money as possible working significantly less? I just want to live. So you've kind of got this perfect storm at this point. You've got a crap economy, insane technology, combined with my restlessness and wanting to shake things up and just growing and evolving as a human. Put all that together, and I'm starting to really reconsider my business, my services, my business model, and basically, how I earn a living. One thing that I really want to explore more is selling more digital products. I already sell a handful, like 4 or 5, and they make me passive income, which is great. But how can I amplify that? This YouTube channel, I'm upping the frequency of new content. And it's because I really, really like YouTube. I love making videos, and it's working. This channel is working really well for me. It's growing faster and faster but I think it just goes back to that whole conversation we were having in one of my last videos. We can't be scared to try new things, even if they are completely different. If for no other reason than what we've been doing isn't going to keep working. For instance, this was something my husband and I were just talking, and I remembered it. Social media. If you're any type of social media freelancer, I noticed the other day, one of my clients, I do a little bit of social media work for them, not much, but they use, what tool do they use? FeedHive, I think it's called. It was a first for me, first time using that. And I noticed in FeedHive, they already built AI into it. And I think I didn't play around with it, so I can't say from experience what it's like. But I mean, these social media schedulers are already incorporating AI so that if you don't want to, you don't even have to come up with the content. And ChatGPT-4, or it's just called GPT-4, right? I've been playing around with it, not for writing. I will not use it for my clients' content. But exploring it in other capacities, how it could be a tool, how it could be a resource, it is insane. My stance hasn't changed. I don't feel that AI should replace humans. And I still believe, I talked about it in this video, I still believe that we should use it as a tool, as inspiration, but not as a replacement. That's my opinion. Anyhow, I know this is kind of me rambling a little bit, but what I started doing was I went on GPT-4, and the tricky part in my experience with AI is learning which queries to use. Prompts. They're called prompts. Thank you. And that's where you have to, there's a little bit of trial and error, because you can get really specific and really granular with GPT-4, which is really good. But if you're not, then the responses you get are going to be garbage, and they're not going to give you any useful information. So what I started playing around with this weekend was prompts like, how can I make $10,000 a month on a $300 budget? Basically, I want to either maintain my income or grow it, working less. And that's what I started using AI for. You ever curl your eyelashes and pinch the lid? That hurts so bad. If you're anything like me and you're a little bit stubborn, I'll admit I was very resistant to AI. You can say your husband has an AI company. Also, he's requesting that I point out that my husband started an AI company. Would you like me to mention the name? Sure. It's called VideoTap, and the link is below. If you're a YouTuber, you're gonna love it. Because I'm a writer, I was very against it at first. And honestly, I'm still hesitant around it. In fact, he just showed me an article this week. What was it? It referenced a legal case that was inaccurate, or it made up a legal case or something.
No, it accused a lawyer of sexual harassment.
It accused a lawyer of sexual harassment.
Professor.
A what?
A law professor.
a law professor, but it was false, right?
Yeah.
But it was wrong. It falsely accused someone of sexual harassment. That's scary. And because I'm a health and wellness writer and I do a lot of medical writing, I'm not going to go anywhere near that. Believe me, I get it if you're resistant to this. I'm an old-fashioned gal. I'm very manual and very hands-on with my work. And that's one of the reasons why the work that I produce is so good. And that's why my clients stick around for a very long time usually. So talking about putting all of that in the hands of technology, of AI, I still don't like the idea because in my opinion, nothing is better than humans. That being said, I think there's a time and a place for AI. So this doesn't have to be a bad thing. We just have to be more flexible and willing to adapt and willing to try new things. And I still maintain that even with AI, I 1000%, I don't believe, I know, there are still brands out there that prefer humans. I need to pick out an outfit. I'm so tall, I have to back up so much. Here it is. All right, we are just about ready here. I don't know if this sounds dramatic. If you're feeling very scared and unsure right now, that's okay. I have been very nervous lately, anxious, that's a better word, because I cannot get these rings on. For the last several years, everything that I do for work I've had down to a science, and I could do it in my sleep. And so now, not having the answers to this degree, it's scary and it makes me very unsure of myself. And then, combined with the fact, like I said, that I've been feeling antsy and like it's time for some sort of change in my life. This is kind of foreign territory for me. And my wonderful husband, we've had several conversations where I just start to tear up a little bit and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. In some ways, I kind of feel like I'm starting over, and I know I'm not. I'm not completely starting over. I've got this amazing foundation that I've worked really hard for, but the future of my career, the next path I take, it might look completely different. It might not. What helps me is reminding myself that no matter what, everything always has a way of working out. Always. And my proof for that is where I am right now. Like most people, I've had plenty of failures, plenty of setbacks. I've lost jobs, I've lost relationships, all part of living. And I've always been okay. And I can say that even with all the low points, my life continues to get better. Not always overnight. It takes time. But if I look at where I am now and where I was a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I am in a significantly better place. And I'm sure if we were to look at your life, we could say the same. Because you're fantastic. The food outside smells really good. Otto and I have to go and pretend to be social, even though we're not. It's Easter Sunday as I'm filming this. We personally don't celebrate Easter, but if you celebrated Easter, well, it'll be over by the time you watch this, but I hope you had a good Easter. And yeah, I always love hearing from you in the comments. So if you have any thoughts on this video, drop me a comment and say hello. Love you!